Hey, welcome to Spiritual and Magical Uses of the Runes. My name is Ikare. In this video, we're going to get into, there'll be more of a plot twist in this video. We're going to get into the Egyptian perspective of these cosmic runic energies. The runic energies are connected to the Egyptian alphabet, and in this video, we're going to get into their perspective on the cosmic runic energies. They're also found in Ethiopia some 14,000 years ago in stone. So these are very ancient principles, very ancient cosmic principles, also found in South America. So very powerful energies here that we are working with. So from the Egyptian perspective, we're going to start with the Odin's Aetts, which represents creation. And they're read from right to left from the Egyptian perspective instead of from the Norse tradition being read from left to right. In the Egyptian perspective, you start with Odin's Aetts as opposed to a who. You know what I'm saying? So from the Egyptian perspective, you start the Odin's Aetts. This Odin's Aetts represents creation. Look at the three runic energies: Othala, the gods, Aetts, spells, the god Odin. That's something. So I'm gonna read a little information that I have from one of my books, Ancient Egypt and the Runes, and we're gonna break down the creation starting with Othala. So we read here from right to left. In the beginning was the god, or Odin, and there was light, represented by the gods. The seed of life was implanted. Aetts was the goddess of fertility, as Aetts represents fertility, both masculine and feminine principles of fertility. Water appeared on the land, represented by the gods, representing intuition, water, and emotions. And also, people began to populate the land, representing manas, or mankind. Animals were created after the people, represented by Aetts, or symbolized by the forest. Vegetation appeared, represented by Brakata. And when creation was completed, the god Tiwaz was placed in the sky to administer justice, law, and order, represented by Tiwaz, the rune of protection and order. So there is the breakdown on the creation Aetts, starting with the god Odin and ending with the god Ter, breaking down the creation aspect of the first Aetts as opposed to the third Aetts that we learn about from online and most of the books that we get offline on Amazon, where we get these runic books from. So interesting take on the runes coming from that perspective. The second Aetts, and we're going to start again from right to left, with Seulo, represents precession. So I'm going to read a little bit about precession. The reason precession occurs is that the Earth not only rotates on its axis, otherwise known as the axis mundi or world pillar, it also wobbles. This wobble effect is a phenomenon caused by forces exerted by the sun on the borders of the Earth at the equator. The wobble effect is best explained in terms of a spinning top. As the top begins to lose momentum, it begins to wobble. It's the same kind of circular movement or wobble of the Earth, which, moving at a constant speed over long periods of time, alters the direction of the polar axis. One revolution is completed every 25,920 years. The central point of revolution is called the polar of the calypso. About the tree of life. In ancient Egyptian texts, it was written that the tree of life, I am the plant which comes from Nu, the tree of life, grew out of the sacred mound, its branches reaching out and supporting the star and the planet-studded sky, while its roots reach down to the watery abyss of the Netherlands. The trunk of the tree of life represented the world pillar or axis mundi, literally the axis of the mound around which the heavens appeared to revolve. The world pillar was considered to be the center of the universe. The ancient Egyptian symbol for plant, meaning the tree of life, was the sacred lotus lilies. The glyph, which denotes the sacred knowledge of hue, is derived from the sacred lotus glyph about the Great Conjunction. There are 12 zodiacal constellations, each spinning 30 degrees of the night sky. As part of the process of precession, these constellations appear to move their position across the heavenly, nightly, annually every 2160 years. Talked about this in one of my videos about time cycles. Each cycle of time is 2160 years. We just now entered into the age of Aquarius, and that zodiacal influence lasts 2160 years. Nightly, you may watch them move very slowly across the sky. Annually, your birth sign comes around but once, but every 2160 years, we move into a new age of the zodiac. For example, the energy of Pisces, the age of Pisces, what we just left, hence the fish symbol for the Christian religion. The previous age was the age of Aries, hence the ram, symbol of the Old Testament. Before that was the age of Taurus, hence the bull imagery in the Minoan Crete. On December 21st, 2012, we moved to the age of Aquarius. At sunrise on that morning, the sun will move through an opening gate or portal out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. This happened in 2012, or whatever year it happened. So again, starting with Savulo, the sun is a key player in the precession of the age of the zodiac. It is the sun which signals a new age of the zodiac by moving through an opening from one age to the next every 2160 years. Next, Elhaz, also known as Elhaz, E-L-H-A-Z. In ancient times, the word El meant Lord. The word Haz is a diminutive form of the ancient Egyptian god Osiris. The Lord referred to in this instance as the Lord Osiris. He was the earliest recorded form of the tree of life, the trunk of which represented the axis Monday around which the heaven appears to evolve. Next here, Perthro represents the opening through which the sun moves to signal the dawn of a new age of the zodiac. The word Perthro is derived from Hebrew word pharaoh, meaning sun. The Hebrew word hor on its own means opening. So we see how the second et is tying in with precession. Aetts, E-I-H-W-A-Z, literally referring to a yew tree, and thereby reminding us that the tree of life represents the cycle of life and death, the death of the old age of the zodiac, and the birth of a new age. Fascinating. Yara can represent either a year or an era. Both are indicative of precession. For example, your birth sign or Scorpio occurs once a year, while a new age or era comes every 2160 years. Yara represents repeated cycles of precession into eternity. Here, Isa represents a reference to Isis, the sister wife of the ancient Egyptian god Osiris. Elhaz, defined above as the tree of life and the axis Monday. Clearly, Isa is also an axis, but in this instance, the reference is to the axis connecting to the magnetic North Pole to the central point of revolution. The point of intersection marriage of these two axes defines the center of the Earth. Here we get to Nauthiz. Nauthiz represent the marriage of Osiris and Isis, or Elhaz and Isa, the intersection of the axis Monday, which the axis connecting to the magnetic pole with the central point of revolution. The axis Monday points to the central North Pole star, while the Isa axis points to the central magnetic pole. So this connection right here represents the marriage of Isis and Osiris. Fascinating. So Hagalaz, the last of this Aetts, refers to the god or goddess Himdel Amartnu, the latter regarding the conjunct bridge across hell, the land of the dead. In this connection, they are a latter version of Osiris and Isis. Osiris presided over the hall of judgment through which the deceased had to pass in order to reach the land of the dead, which was among the stars. Hagalaz is sometimes referred to as the grain of corn. As the pole star was considered the land of the dead. Hagalaz, hell, land of the dead, whole star. See how the whole second act now connects with the procession. And the third Et is the gods and astronomy, starting here again from right to left with Wanjo. Wanjo is the standard of the gods at the head of procession. Gabo represents the goddess Geffen or Freya, who was the mistress of the gods. In this capacity, Gabo ironically symbolizes the constellation of Virgo. Freya, often synonymous with the goddess Isis or Aetts, also rules over the zodiac of Virgo. Next, we have Kanaz, originates from the ancient Egyptian hieroglyph for an oil lamp, which in turn suggests light. This could be in the form of fire or light in the darkness. Kanaz can therefore symbolize either the sun or the moon. However, since Sawulo represents the sun, the Kanaz symbol is a segment of the Sawulo symbol. The celestial body Kanaz represent would not be as bright as the sun. Kanaz would therefore symbolize the moon. In support of this, notice the crescent shape of Kanaz. This crescent shape of Kanaz. The next one, Rado, often translated as chariot. Now, surprisingly, there is a constellation referred to as the chariot, but it is more commonly called the Little Dipper or Ursa Minor. Ursa Minor, currently the polar constellation of which the pole star Polaris forms the tip. So here's the chariot in the form of the rune Rado. Ansos is the name given to the gods Odin, and as such, he is a later version of the ancient Egyptian god Osiris. The constellation which represents the soul of Osiris is the constellation of Orion, connected with this energy here of Ansos. Dorsaz. Dorsaz is considered to represent the god Thor, who was a later version of the ancient Egyptian god Osiris. However, this representation of Thor is a misconception. In reality, Thorisaz represents the ancient Egyptian god Thoth, who was pictured to the left. Thoth was credited with introducing the art and sciences, including astronomy, hieroglyphics, to the ancient Egyptians. Thoth was the scribe of the gods. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyph for scribe is not unlike the runic hieroglyph for Thorisaz. Thoth was also the ancient Egyptian god of the moon. So we have Thorisaz representing the god Thoth. I tell you, awesome information here. The next runic energy here we have is Uros, generally translated as Uros, which is an extinct Central European white ox. Originally, however, this pair of horns shown today in upright position of the letter U would have been the symbol for the ram. The constellation of the ram is Aries. And finally, we have Fehu, which translates to cattle. However, because there are two horns on the runic hieroglyph, the more translation is bull. The constellation of the bull is Taurus. So we have Fehu representing the constellation of the bull Taurus. So awesome information here regarding the Aetts, creation, ascension, and the standard of the gods. The principal players of the third act are gods of astronomy are the Virgo, Moon, and Ursa Minor, Orion, Aries, and Taurus. Taurus and Aries are the two ages of the zodiac which preceded the age of Pisces, the fish. Orion and Virgo represents the ancient Egyptian god Osiris and his sister wife Isis. The moon represents the ancient Egyptian god Thoth and the nightly reminder of precession. Ursa Minor represents precession, the movement of the new polar constellation toward the celestial North Pole, and eventually the new polar star Polaris. The absence of Pisces among the key players suggests that the runic hieroglyphics predate the age of Aquarius, or the age of Pisces. However, the constellation of Pisces is to be found in the first Et of creation, the runic glyph the gods, was originally an ancient Egyptian hieroglyph of the Abdu fish. Pisces appearing in the first Et of creation instead of the third Et, the gods and constellations indicate that the Futhought runes are a record of astronomical event, the dawn of the age of Pisces, rather than creation in general. full dark room celebrate the movement of the sun out of the age of Aries into the age of Pisces. The birth of a new age was virgin birth, Osiris Orion being the father, and Isis Virgo being the virgin mother. Awesome information regarding these runic energies and how they relate to creation, precession, and the gods. So this should give you a better understanding of the videos I have in each of the tiers now, representing each of the Aetts, and now your new take on when you connect with these cosmic runic energies. So if you have any questions, give me a holler. I'll be sure to get back with you as fast as I can. Until next time.